I'm Liv and welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. Today's video is going to be another installment of priority books on my physical TBR. I cannot tell you how many of these videos I could actually make. My physical TBR will eventually crush me and I just continue to add and add and add to it. So I thought I would chat to you guys again about some more of my priority books. First up, Rune and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. So I have a little explanation for this one. So this is a book that is on this list not because I enjoy the series, but because I want to move on with Leigh Bardugo's whole world, if that makes sense. So if you don't know Leigh Bardugo, all of her books are set in the same kind of world. This series I don't really love. I like, and it's meh. Obviously for me, I think I've said it 1,000 times. Can you see them there? There we go. I've said it 1,000 times on this channel. Six of Crows is one of my favourite series of all times. So I've got my little Kaz there. And Six of Crows is a series that I adore, and I do enjoy the world building of this book. And there's some characters that come into the sequel, Siege and Storm, that do make this series more bearable, and once I started reading about those characters I started to enjoy the series more. I won't say who because it's kind of spoilers just in case you haven't read this trilogy yet. So I want to finally finish this trilogy so I can move on to the next book in her world, which is King of Scars, and then its sequel Rule of Wolves, which has some of the characters from Six of Crows and Kingdom pop up, and the more bearable characters from the Shadow and Bone series continue on in this book, and that's why I want to finish this book so I can just finally forget about this series, move on and catch up with King of Scars, which I believe is set after the end of Crooked Kingdom. I hope that explanation made sense. Yeah, I want to get this over and done with so I can move on to King of Scars and see what happens to the more bearable characters from this book and the lovely characters from Six of Crows, and see what all the hype is about, and see what they get up to and where Leigh takes these characters after the big events of both the Six of Crows duology and the Shadow and Bone series. So that is why this book is on my list, and then obviously this is a priority then as well. Next up we have Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is a fantasy series, trilogy I should say, not series, that I know is super well loved and talked about a lot on Twitter, and the plot's really interesting to me. It sounds right up my alley, my kind of book. It's about the stone Jade, and Jade is used to heighten warriors' natural ability. So obviously the stone is very powerful, so it's often stolen for and killed for, and the kind of trade of it is controlled by two warring powerful families, and they're both equal in their ruthlessness. So then a modern drug emerges that allows anybody, not just warriors, to be able to use Jade, which leads to all-out war between these two powerful, ruthless families. I've heard so many people talk about this book on Twitter and be super obsessed with the characters in this book and become super protective and love them so much. I've also heard people tweet Fonda about how heartbreaking this is, so I'm kind of worried in that. And I've also heard that the world building is really good. So yes, this is why this book is a priority. Then we have The Dark Tide. This is by Alicia Jasinska. I put this on my TBR I think in February because I had to fill a prompt, read a book with multiple POVs, and I couldn't think of anything, so I was just picking up books hoping that they had multiple POVs, and found this one that was sitting like right at the bottom of my shelves, getting a little bit neglected. So that's why ever since then I've been really interested in reading it, and it's been on my mind, and I've been thinking about picking it up ever since I learnt the blurb to talk about in that video, even though I've kind of forgotten the blurb a little bit. Anyway, this is set on this little island city, and we follow our main character Lena, and in Lena's village, I should say not village, in Lena's island city, every year the witch queen lures a boy into the palace to be sacrificed in order to keep the island city from sinking. Lena believes that her brother this year is going to be the sacrifice, So she enlists the help of this boy called Thomas, who is the only boy who has ever escaped the palace. But she's also a little bit in love with Thomas, but the fact that she asks Thomas for help kind of backfires and catches the attention, and Thomas is then chosen to be the sacrifice. So then we also have the Queen Ava, and she cast her heart away when her sister died for the boy she loved. She won't make the same mistakes as the Queen, and she's willing to sacrifice anyone. Then Lena offers herself in exchange for Thomas to be the sacrifice, and the Queen and Lena await the full moon together, but Lena is not what Eva expected, and the Queen is nothing like Lena expected as well. As water floods the streets, the dark tide demands a sacrifice. They must choose who to save, themselves, each other, or the island city relying on them both. I cannot tell you like how interested in this book I am. It sounds so good. Like, tell me, like, I haven't read a plot like that before, and it's only like 300 pages, so it'll be a super quick read as well. So this must go on a TBR soon. Then we have Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Cannot believe I have not read any books in this series. This is like a YA classic, I'd say, a very beloved series, and a series that I know I'm gonna love, so I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I've had this book for years. This is about Selena, and Selena is an assassin, so she's in prison for that. She lives in this world where there's no more magic, and the world is ruled by this vicious king. So then there's this competition that's put on at the castle where she fights against 23, I think. 23 thieves and warriors in a competition to find the greatest assassin, and if she competes and beats all of her components, she will win her freedom. And then I think something evil dwells in the castle, and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying horribly one by one, a fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival, and a desperate quest to root out the source of the evil before it destroys her world. Yeah, like I said, I know this is a beloved series, and I know that there's a lot of great different characters in these books. I do like a series with a great cast of characters. The more characters, the better, honestly. Give me all the characters. So I am going to read this soon, I hope. Then we have She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This is a book set in 1345 China under Mongol rule, and for the starving peasants, greatness is only really found in stories. So the son of this family, he's the 8th son, I think. He is given the fate of greatness, and everyone's really excited to see how he will meet that fate. And then we have the second born daughter, who's very capable, but she's given the fate of nothingness. And then bandits attack their village, and the family children become orphans, and the son that is given the fate of greatness kind of dies and succumbs to his despair and dies, leaving the daughter to kind of take his identity and enter a monastery. So she goes undercover as a male novice, and while there she discovers that she will do whatever it takes to escape her fate of nothingness, and takes on the fate of her brother. So there we have it, even more books off my physical TBR. I could probably make a million of these videos, so let me know if you would like to see more of this, and let me know in the comments again what are some more books off your physical TBR. I would love to compare TBRs. As always, all of my social media links are in the description below if you'd love to come and chat with me on other social medias. That would be lovely. If you'd like this video, a like would be very much appreciated, and subscribe so you can see more of when I post. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in whatever I post next. Bye!